Welcome back to another episode of the OKC Foodcast, your guide to the food in Oklahoma. You're joined, as always, by your hosts, Nabil
and Ashley.
And we've got a very special guest with us this week.
Absolutely. Welcome, Don Kerr, the GM of Masa, Ramen, and Sushi.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And you guys have heard us talk about Masa before. And so now we're going to get a more insight into it.
Yeah.
Not a more insight. Yeah. It's been a long day.
It has been. But no, we'll dive all into Masa, Ramen, and Sushi. But first, let's chat about our Eat of the Week.
Let's do it.
All right. I always have everybody else go first. Today, I'll go first.
All right. Look at that.
Look at that. So my Eat of the Week, my boyfriend and I went to brunch at Hatch. Always a solid...
It's a solid spot.
Solid spot, yeah. This time we started off with the beignets, which I really, really enjoyed. We both go back and forth on, do we get something sweet or savory? Like, I want those pancakes. I want that French toast. But I know if I get that, I'm going to wish I had gotten something savory.
That's what Serena and I do too. But
yeah,
we just split it.
Right. So, well, we did an appetizer, started off with the beignets, and they served this with 3 different dipping sauces, which I love, condiments. The first one was the orange glaze, which it was a tie for me between my favorite, the orange glaze, the peanut butter bacon. That was also delicious. And then the Nutella cream.
That one would probably be my favorite,
that
just
was
judging from...
my boyfriend's favorite. Yeah. I'm not a big Nutella person.
I love Nutella. That hazelnut chocolate.
Yeah, I guess it's because I'm not a big chocolate person. But so we started off with that. Then I got the Benedict Johnny, which is griddled grit cakes that they put the poached eggs on, some beer braised pork, and then top it with the chipotle hollandaise and red chili sauce. And then served with black beans. And then, of course, I had to get a side of the potato tumblers.
Their potato tumblers are
so
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
They're like little hash brown...
little poppers.
Circles of joy.
Yeah, circles of joy.
Spheres, because they're 3D. They're not 2D. Spheres of joy.
They're so good. They're like, you don't even have to have ketchup, even though I do eat them with ketchup. They're so flavorful on their own.
Yeah, they're well seasoned, well fried. They're really good.
But I've also had the chicken and waffles from Hatch, and I would say... next time I go, I'm going to get the chicken and waffles again.
Have you had their chicken fried soft-boiled eggs?
No, I have not.
They're really good. Like, it's a boiled egg that has been deep fried with a little bit of batter, but the batter is super light, and then you cut them, and they give you a couple of dipping sauces. They're so good. Yeah,
that sounds good. Mm-hmm. You know what that kind of reminds me of? I can't remember what event it was that we went to, but maybe it was the Hangover Brunch, where it was the fried deviled eggs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was the Hangover Brunch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Is it similar to that, except they fry the whole thing?
Yeah, so they boil an egg, peel the shell, obviously, because you can't eat that. Dip it in batter and fry it. And it's fantastic. At first, I was like, what is this going to be like? But it was really good.
What is this going to be like?
Well, you see something and you're like trying to imagine how it's going to be, but you're like, it might be good. I don't know. Let's just try it.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Nice.
So next time, try that.
I will try
with
that.
your chicken and waffles.
Yeah. Well, definitely getting the chicken and waffles again. I feel like so far that's my favorite thing on their menu.
Nice.
What about, have you had Hatch before, Don?
I have actually had Hatch. Don't ask me what I've had.
Okay.
It's been a little bit since I've been there. I don't get out much. I'm always at work.
So. Oh, understandable. Well, what is your Eat of the Week?
I would say my Eat of the Week has to be, since I don't get out much, family meal. My staff, my chefs are really good at what they do, and they always fix more traditional Chinese meals at for dinner or for lunch for family meals.
Right.
And this week he made some fried rice that was just absolutely amazing. I know it sounds a little cliche, but He put a little bit of everything. We have some bacon that we don't really use in any other dish. We used it in a special over the fall, and we're keeping the bacon in so we can continue to make that dish for our regulars that have said you need to put that on the menu.
Right.
Oh, nice.
So we have the bacon, and he threw that in the fried rice. You put bacon in anything, and it's
100%.
So yeah, that would have to be my eat of the week.
Nice. That sounds good. I love a good fried rice.
And I love like when chefs just have carte blanche on doing whatever they want.
Right.
Like it's always cool to see what they come out with, and it's always super flavorful. My eat of the week was Nashbird's.
Okay.
I'd heard about this place a lot and
We've
hadn't
talked
been
about it
there
before.
yet. Yeah. And finally made it in. I actually went there for Friends Trivia, which was fun.
Oh, fun.
We did not win, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
But next time, we're coming for you. We didn't have our whole team, so, excuses. That's what it's all about. But, whenever I go to a hot chicken place, I have to try their different levels of spice. And so with Nashbird's, I was like, the easiest way I can see of doing this is just getting chicken tenders with different levels of spice. Their chicken sandwich looked absolutely fantastic. It sounded really good. Serena actually got that, and I got to try a bite of it, and it was really good. But so I got their kickin', their hot dang, which is like their tagline is like hot dang chicken, and the crazy hot. And given that it was Friends Trivia, this place was crazy. Like there were tons of people, standing room
people
only.
Were crazy.
No, like the...
Kidding.
Yes. Everyone was crazy. Everyone was going wild. It was just ridiculous. No. Yeah, it was just really packed, and the servers and everyone there were doing their best to keep up with it, and everyone was super helpful and great. I'd definitely go back. But when it came out, the server was just like, I don't know which one's which.
Oh, no. Well, that's not good.
And I was like, oh, okay. Guess I'll just go into it. And I unfortunately started the wrong end.
You started with the hottest?
I started with the crazy hot, which was hot. It was edible, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it had a little bit of flavor. It wasn't just heat and spice. So that was a plus point because I was able to eat that, no problem. Because usually when you have something that's just stupid hot and it's got no flavor, you don't want to eat it.
Right.
But then the problem with that was when I tried the other things, I couldn't really taste the spice.
Because you had started off too spicy.
But,
Well, shoot. I feel like they need to put little flags in it.
So I was talking to, when we were tabbing out and stuff and getting our check. The person was like, what do you think? Because I told her it was my first time. I'm going to try it all. And she wasn't the one who brought it. Someone else did. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what do you think? I was like, unfortunately, start off with the wrong end. And she's like, no, you should always start off at the right. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't know which one was which. She's like, it wasn't marked. So usually that tells me that it is marked. And she's like, I'm sorry. You should have known which way to start it. She's like, hey, next time, the darker it is, the hotter it is.
Oh, really?
Don't go with the redness because the darker it is, the hotter it is. I'm like, interesting. Which I didn't even think about kind of deducing that.
Yeah.
I just went in because I was hungry.
Which, if somebody works there, they should know. They should have said,
Oh, that is true.
oh, that's going to be the spicier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
or start right to left.
But I mean, they acknowledged it, and usually they do mark it, so that's a good thing.
Okay, that is good.
It's all right. I'll go back there. But you know what really blew my socks off was their mac and cheese poppers. It was like, and their fried pickles. One, their frying was on point.
Nice.
And this mac and cheese poppers that had like smokiness. It was hot mac and cheese. They were so good.
Is it like fried? Like
Yeah, they're like
the outside
little,
of it
they're little
fried,
fried mac and cheese balls.
Lots of mac and cheese inside each ball.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was really good.
I feel like we talked about that for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I made
Yeah.
those. It wasn't, mine weren't smoky or anything, but I was just like, next time I'm going to use smoked cheddar.
Or smoked Gouda.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, that sounds
So
really
it was
good.
a fantastic meal.
I like hot chicken.
Yeah, me too.
Nice. All right. Well, let's change gears and talk about Masa.
Non-hot fish.
So Nabil and I have both been, and we were both thoroughly impressed. So again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
And talking everything Masa with us.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming
on. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're the GM of Masa. How did this kind of come to play?
I don't know where to start. I've been in restaurant industry for a while. It's not where I started. I actually started teaching. And my degree was actually in sports medicine.
Oh, interesting.
So it's kind of weird that I've ended up in restaurant management
right.
and running restaurants and things. But it was in teaching, I had to supplement my income. Mm-hmm. So I started serving. And unfortunately, I know all the teachers out there can probably identify with this. I wasn't making enough.
Right.
And when I noticed how much I was making in the restaurant industry, I made the switch, even though I left something that I really love doing.
Yeah.
Found something else I'm really good at and really love doing as well. So it's not quite an even trade, but it works.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so now I'm here. Actually, one of our investors owns Szechuan Bistro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They are actually very, very close personal friends. Pretty much family.
Nice.
And they told me about their concept. They told me about what they were doing, and said, "Hey, we need somebody that we know that can take this to where it needs to go. Mm-hmm. Will you help us?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll come on board. I'll do it."
Nice.
Cool.
And Szechuan Bistro is right across the street.
Exactly. Yeah. It's right across the street.
Cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. So, were you a sushi and ramen fan before you started working in Masa, or was this like a crash course into everything sushi and ramen?
Actually, I love sushi. I love everything about sushi. Ramen, not so much. I don't eat soup.
Okay,
so
there you go.
But I always tell my customers and my guests, I always tell them, they ask me, okay, which one's the best? I said, well, I've only had one because I'm not a soup person. But for the reasons why I'm not a soup person, our ramen doesn't do that to me. So I can actually eat our ramen. I can actually enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So I do like to suggest the ramen to people for that reason.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the reason you're not a soup person?
I'm not a soup person because even though I salt my food like it's the ocean, soup, any kind of sodium in soup, all the liquids go to the bottom of my stomach and just burn all day long, and it just makes me sick, and I just don't feel good.
Right.
But our ramen doesn't do that to me because it's lower in sodium, and so I haven't ventured out to eat more of it. I just kind of stick to sushi and family meal.
Yeah,
so nice.
Yeah. Hey,
nice.
There's nothing wrong with that. That ramen, though, I will attest to it.
Oh,
it was really good.
So good.
Spicy miso broth. What'd you get?
Gosh, it's been quite a few months now.
Okay. We'll have to go back.
I'll go back and look at the menu and tell you what I got. Okay, so when did Masa open?
Exact date I can't give you. I apologize for that. I
That's
should have.
okay.
I should have
No,
actually
it's okay.
gone
It's
back
all right.
to that.
I know it's sometime during the summer.
Yes,
right?
it was. So I want to say we opened our doors. Let's see, it was a good month before grand open, maybe a little longer than that. So it would have been the middle of May, I believe.
Okay.
You got to get your feet wet before
Right.
grand opening, which you had quite an extravaganza.
Yeah, I thought it was such an amazing marketing strategy with your grand opening, doing 4 days of free food. Or was it just free ramen?
No, actually, it was free food. What we did was we created combos. So there were 5 different choices. There were some choices that had ramen and an appetizer. There were 2 of those, and then one was ramen and a sushi roll. Okay. And then there were 2 choices that were 2 sushi rolls each. And we bounced it back and forth. The owners and investors, everybody was like, okay, well, we don't want to spend too much, but we want people to taste our food. And I let them know. I said, look, we have to do exactly what we're going to be serving people.
Yeah.
Because if we bring them in here and we give them something they're not going to get,
what's the
they're
point?
not going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Or like something that's like a smaller version of it, or like a shortcut. But like, by the way, our actual food is going to have this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if they haven't tasted
Exactly.
it, I think that's perfect. Like having people taste the food to sell it.
I thought it was a wonderful marketing strategy. You had lines out the door.
We had lines around the corner of the building, and that's pretty far. There's 3 other storefronts on that on that side. Thank goodness they were empty at the time, because our line was taking up that whole sidewalk.
That's crazy.
And, it was in the middle of the heat. We put coolers all the way around. We had bottled water for people because we knew people were going to be standing outside.
Yeah.
And because although we were putting people at tables as fast as we could, in some cases we had parties of 2. I was putting 2 parties of 2 at a 6 top just so we could seat more people.
Right.
It wasn't about trying to make it slow. It was about trying to feed as many people as we could.
Yeah.
And we did it. We actually fed about 600 people a day for 4 days.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Do you feel like it was part of that? What do you feel like it was the grand opening strategy that contributes to the success of your first few months?
Definitely. The whole idea was to get people there to try it. Because you can advertise all you want. You can tell people, come try us, but most people will say,
Free
oh, I have
food
to do
speaks.
that. But exactly. If they can eat for free and you're giving them exactly what they're going to eat when they come in on any other day, they're going to they're going to experience and they're going to come back.
Yeah.
So
And that whole like, standing in line in the middle of June or July
For some ramen?
is for some
Or
hot
ramen.
soup
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
is not the most ideal thing, but it kind of adds to the experience, right? You'd be like, hey, I was there for the grand opening. I had their food. You're one of the first people to be like, yeah, this food was good. I give it my stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there, so I couldn't give it my stamp of approval at that time.
Well, I thought about going, and then I saw the line. I was like, I'll just pay for it in 4 days. But I did think it was cool that you guys didn't limit people like to only come once during that 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
No, we didn't do that. There was talk about it, and then we said, we absolutely cannot be that off-putting to people. We can't. We have to let people know you're always welcome, whether we're feeding you free or you're paying for it.
Right.
You're always welcome. So we did see some faces every day.
That's
and almost actually there were some faces we saw every meal, but that was okay.
Yeah.
That was
that
okay.
means they liked it.
Exactly.
Right?
That means they
Yeah.
liked it. And you know what? This is how I explained it to some people. You've been in here 8 times now. How many times do they say you have to do something to make it a habit? What, 5?
Yeah. So
5
now,
or 7 or
5,
something.
7.
Yeah.
We've made it a habit.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way I've looked at it, and I've gotten my investors and everybody to look at it. They're coming back. It's a habit. They'll come back.
yeah.
There you go.
So
Nice.
Very cool.
That's like a cool way to look at it. Be like, yeah, just come on through, have some food. It's good. You like
Yeah.
it.
No, and I think whenever I went, it was like the 5th or 6th day that y'all were open. And I posted pictures and someone's like, you just missed the free ramen. I was like, no, I saw the line that was happening with the free food. And I just thought, I'll wait and pay. It's too dang hot to
Yeah.
stand outside.
I mean, if you had the time and
Yeah, which
you're
I
with a
don't.
little group of friends or with someone, it makes that wait enjoyable. Like I think I did it for Torchy's because it was after work hours and the line wasn't that bad and they had like a DJ and music going.
Right,
Like they had
so
this
that's
huge little
an
extravaganza.
experience.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fun doing stuff like that sometimes.
yeah,
That's cool.
For sure.
So, in this expanding foodscape of Oklahoma City, which we keep talking about, and with all these other ramen and sushi spots, what would you say separates Masa?
I would have to say quality, and the craftsmanship and artistry of my sushi chefs. As far as the sushi side, are amazing. My chefs are trained from New York City, so there's an experience and there's a quality that does set us apart. And then from there, it's down to ingredients, all the way down to the rice. We spend 2 to 3 times more on the type of rice that we use, or the quality of rice that we use, than other sushi places in town.
Right.
And that makes a huge difference. And almost every guest I've had talk to me about our sushi has said they notice that. And that's really
That's
really
nice.
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then it's also down to chefs that care more about quality than just trying to make sure something is sold so we make money off of it.
Yeah.
I've seen my chefs throw away a half a fish or a whole fish just because it's not up to par. And you don't get that in a lot of places. It's tough. You have to watch your bottom
painful.
line.
Right.
It is, but they understand that the importance is the guest experience and the food that we serve. And so while we may lose $100 throwing that fish away, what in retention of guests and guests walking out saying that's the best sushi I've ever had and telling their friends, it will come back tenfold.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What would you say to people that aren't from Oklahoma, live in Oklahoma now, and they say, you know, we're a landlocked state. I would not eat sushi in Oklahoma. What would you say to those
why
people?
would you have fish in Oklahoma?
Right.
Yeah.
our sushi actually comes to us fresh 3 to 4 every 3 to 4 days. It does come from Dallas or Houston. That way we know they're getting fresh and it comes to us as soon as they get it. And yes, for a long time being in Oklahoma, I have felt the same way.
Yeah.
I have definitely felt the same way. But our suppliers are quite wonderful. 99% of the time. Every time they try, every once in a while they try to slip something in. My chefs catch it and they say, nope,
Yeah.
get us something else. And we'd rather go out without something than serve something subpar.
Right.
So,
No, I'm a huge sushi fan. I'm from Houston and have traveled all over. You're from Houston too?
Yes.
Nice. And so whenever I first moved to Oklahoma, I was a little worried about eating sushi here. And it was a few different friends that were like, you know, I'm not from Oklahoma, but this is good sushi. You know, you got to try this. And
Well, you can't take an Oklahoman's word on sushi?
No, I'm sorry. But if you don't know the difference, then, you know, what do you compare it to? But no, now that I have ventured into sushi in Oklahoma, like there definitely are some spots, Masa included, that have very high quality fish that is fresh and not scary.
right, definitely.
Not scary. I think that's like the last thing you want in your sushi is to be scary.
Yeah,
Right.
but a lot of people think it
Like,
is.
do I want to eat this right now?
No, a lot of people are worried with it being a landlocked state. Like, how could it possibly be great?
We've actually had a lot of people that have had that concern, and they come in with their friends knowing, okay, I can just eat ramen. And their friends are like, oh no, you need to try this. You need to try this. And they'll eat some sushi, they'll try it, and they leave saying, this is the only place that I'm going to eat sushi at.
Yeah.
And that's nice to know. They feel that they
feel comfortable. Yeah.
and they see the quality and the taste and everything. And I know we've talked mostly about the sushi, but I am really proud of our ramen because our ramen is a very clean broth. It does set itself aside. There's a place for a heavier broth or, and things like that. But I do think we fill a void there because our broth is really light, yet flavorful. And that way you can finish eating your ramen and not feel the way I told you I used to feel.
Right.
You can actually head back to work, or you can head out with the family or do something and not feel heavy and everything. So but yes, I'm super happy with both.
Yeah,
Nice.
From what I experienced, it was really good. And and also not to downplay the appetizers, right? Like there were a couple of things on there that I had that I was like, this was really good. Like the gyoza, like it was
I had
super
that as
flavorful,
well.
really well done. And I think I've talked about this before, but the beef negamaki, the little thinly rolled beef with scallions and teriyaki sauce, it was delicious.
Yeah.
So I could eat that like all day.
I just pulled up what I got. I did the edamame, the pork gyoza, and then the rainbow. I always mispronounce this.
Naruto.
Naruto.
You were going for it.
Okay. That was amazing. And I said it right, Naruto?
Naruto.
Okay. The rainbow Naruto was phenomenal. I loved it. And then I got the tonkatsu ramen.
The traditional broth.
Yeah. Very, very good. I loved all of it. I'm now looking back at those pictures. I'm like, I need to go back. It's just making me hungry. For someone that has never been to Masa, what would you say are some of the must-try menu items?
Sorry, I know it sounds cliche, but everything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, you got to pick something.
Right. Honestly, some items that I have never seen before and I have been super impressed with is on our sushi appetizer menu, and it's the sushi pizza. It's a rice crust that it feels just like a pizza crust, and then it's guac or avocado, and then spicy tuna and all sorts of other good things.
That sounds
spicy
really
mayo, eel
good.
sauce, masago, scallions. It's really, really good. It's cut in wedges like a pizza. That one is really amazing.
To look at this.
I saw that and we thought about getting it, and then I've had a sushi burrito before, and I was like, that wasn't like my most favorite thing. So I was like, let's forego the pizza. But then after I had the food, I was like, okay, we could have probably tried that, and they would have done it a little differently, right? So, like sometimes these crossover things.
I think we were together with the sushi burrito.
Yeah,
it was just so much rice.
Yeah, there was a lot of rice. Oh. Yep.
Yeah.
A few other things I would say are dinosaur eggs are really good.
Ooh, what is that?
It's
they're fossils.
Avocado, exactly.
Fossils.
Where the pit is taken out, it's filled with spicy, crunchy tuna and crab.
Yeah.
And then it is battered and deep fried, and then quartered, and then served in 4 pieces on a plate. Again, with all the wonderful sauces, the eel sauce, the spicy mayo.
That sounds really good.
That does sound really good.
It's all amazing, especially for avocado lovers.
I'm an avocado lover.
If you actually look at our social media, I think I did a whole thing on avocado. I counted, I think we have like 60 items with avocado.
Nice. That's funny. I love avocado pretty much any way you put it. So
avocado is delicious.
Yeah.
To break away from the appetizers, salads. We have amazing salads. I tend to be a little bit of a picky eater when it comes to certain things, but our seared pepper tuna salad is absolutely gorgeous. It has chunks of mango, chunks of cucumber, the seared pepper tuna, and every dressing that we use has amazing flavor and to it, and works so perfectly. I think my favorite salad is the salmon skin salad, and it's just a salad with salmon skin, but then eel sauce and a miso vinaigrette on top. And it's to die for. The crunch of the salmon, you get the taste from the salmon. And then the dressings, everything works together so well. And
That sounds delicious.
the most amazing part
like
of it is it's $7.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really delicious. It sounds really unique, but everything sounds like it would work well together.
It is. It works really well together.
Nice.
If you want some other items, let's see. I'm trying to go through our kitchen now. I know because I've kind of leaned on the sushi side a little bit.
Well, what's your favorite sushi roll?
Probably my favorite sushi roll, which is a little weird for me normally. I don't do cream cheese in a roll. Mm-hmm. I used to not feel like cream cheese had a place in sushi, but
I'm there with you, so I'm very curious right now.
Right. But that said, two of my favorite rolls on the menu, well, one is on the menu, the other one is going on the menu, was the Beautiful Alaska, smoked salmon, cream cheese. It's just wonderful. It all comes together very, very well, and I have been super impressed with that. Again, even though it has the cream cheese in it. Second one was our Christmas roll that we did as a special for Christmas, and we had such great reception to it. We're just going to put it on the menu and name it the Christmas roll.
Nice.
So and you'll be able to have Christmas year round. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that sounds... All right, I'm going to have to try one of those and see if you can change my mind about cream cheese on sushi.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It doesn't bother me.
No?
No, I mean, I like, there's the roll he was talking about, the smoked salmon with cream cheese. There's a place in Houston that I get a roll from that it's like, I guess they fry the outside of it, but it has smoked salmon, cream cheese, and a thin slice of jalapeno. And it's really good, and it's like warm since they flash fry it.
That's really actually going to be very close to our bagel roll.
Okay.
We have a bagel roll that's deep fried. It does have, it just doesn't have jalapeno in it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So I love that roll, and
Nice.
I like that it's warm. So
Okay.
I'm
I think
pro
sometimes
cream
like
cheese.
I think sometimes the cream cheese has just like overtaken it.
Yeah.
And they've maybe put in too big of a chunk of cream cheese.
Yeah, I've had
or-
that before
it.
too, where you just feel like you did not get your money's worth of fish, and you paid
Well,
for cream cheese.
Not even that, but it's like when the cream cheese just coats your mouth, and you're like,
yeah.
that was just cream cheese, and then it becomes really heavy, and because sushi, like I feel to me is more light.
There just has to be a slither.
delicate, right? Yeah.
I agree on that. Other places that I've had cream cheese in a roll, I agree. It's the predominant thing. Again, I know I keep raving about my sushi chefs, but their proportions are so amazing. That's what makes their sushi so good. The proportion of rice to fish to other fillings in there, they get it right every time, and it's absolutely amazing.
Nice. Have you ever tried a roll sushi?
I have not.
You haven't gone back there yet?
Well, okay.
They don't let you.
In the restaurant setting, I have not. We tried at home before, and we were not very successful. In fact,
That's why I was
there
wondering.
was a interesting little contraption that we picked up at the Texas State Fair years ago that made it really easy, and it formed your roll, and I don't know where it went. We used it like twice, and we were done. So
It was not a successful
Yeah.
attempt. No, I took a sushi making class once, and I will say that I was not successful at making sushi either. It had so much rice. Like my friend and I both went, and I'm like looking at this roll, and I feel like I could pick it up with like one hand, like a burrito. I'm like, goodness. And then our instructor's like, all right, now let's eat to our rolls. And I took like one bite, and I'm just like chewing forever. Like, oh my God, this is so much rice.
That's funny. Well, not to brag, but Serena and I did a sushi roll in class too, and we actually rolled a roll, and it tasted pretty decent.
Maybe you had a better instructor.
Maybe. Maybe we're just better sushi rollers.
Oh, yeah, it might be that, because the instructor did come to me and say, too much rice. I was like,
You're like, but I'm hungry.
but I did the amount you said.
No, I mean, I think that makes a difference, right? It's like,
Oh yeah.
once you get past that rice step, there's no way to go back.
No, there is not. There is not. You're stuck with the
You
burrito.
could scrape it off.
Oh man, it's funny.
So we went through some of your favorite items, and obviously you could have gone through the whole menu. But like you mentioned, like the Christmas roll. It was there for Christmas. Now it's going to be there year round. Are there, like, how often do you do seasonal things or specials, or do you have weekly specials that you do on a regular basis, or monthly specials?
Right now we're doing seasonal specials.
Okay.
I am trying to explain to my chefs about how important it is for us to do let's do something for a week. That we can bring back, 2 months from now when people say, oh, that was amazing. And then when we put it on social media and say, hey, we have this again, they'll come back.
Right.
But we did really fun for fall. Everything that we did on the fall features menu had pumpkin. And so we had an appetizer that was pumpkin and sweet potato tempura.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had a pumpkin tempura roll. We had a pumpkin fried rice.
Oh, I thought that was good.
That's what the bacon was in.
Uh-huh.
And that's the item that it's not going to go on the menu, but we have everything for it.
But it's
so you can come in at any time and order pumpkin fried rice.
Wow.
And it's really, really
and
good.
people loved it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I feel
Our
like
regulars.
the pumpkin and bacon just goes well together.
It's amazing. And it was pumpkin, bacon, raisins, and cranberries.
Ooh,
And
that sounds good.
It all played together so well. It sounds a little off-putting to read on the menu.
It sounds delicious.
You throw a little
But-
turkey in there, and that's Thanksgiving.
Right, with rice.
And then we had a pumpkin dessert. We did a pumpkin and sweet potato tempura with a homemade buttercream pumpkin spice icing.
Nice.
And that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. And then we even did specials from the bar. We had a pumpkin spice whiskey fizz in the bar.
Yeah.
And so we're doing that. Like currently we're running our winter cocktails. And we have 3 different winter cocktails, and they've been received very, very well. And I'm very proud of that.
Nice.
They've been a lot of fun. And actually, a couple of them people have said, you need to make this available year-round because we will order it at any time.
Cool. I do remember you had some, like your bar program, you have some really great sounding cocktails. I didn't have any cocktails whenever I went, but they sounded really, really good.
It's like, it feels like an understated thing because you're like Masa. Ramen and sushi.
Ramen, sushi.
And they're like, but wait, we also do have some cocktails
and dessert.
Like we have a bar program. It's not your regular stuff. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really pushing for the bar. Not a lot of Asian restaurants. It doesn't matter if it's Japanese or Chinese or Thai or Vietnamese. A lot of them don't really have bars, or if they have a bar, it's going to, okay, this is our wine offering and this is our beer offering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really a craft cocktail bar. And we're really pushing that because a lot of people love that. And honestly, where we're located, there's not really a craft bar scene.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's a little tough trudging through sometimes and letting people know, hey, we do have a craft cocktail bar and you can get wonderful cocktails here. I know most people kind of think of Midtown and that area for
But people got
craft
a
cocktails.
drink on this side as well.
Exactly. That's why we're here. So.
Can I make a suggestion? And you may already do this, but I recently I went to, I guess it was a Japanese place in Houston, and they made craft cocktails out of different flavored sakes. Have y'all done that?
We've used sake in some of our cocktails, and we like to do some different things and pull different ingredients that you don't normally use. And yes, a couple of them currently do have sake in them. One of our winter cocktails actually is Pinot Noir and cognac.
Interesting.
together in a cocktail, and then it has a spiced simple and an Asian pear simple,
Ooh,
and it
Asian
all
pear
comes
simple.
together.
Asian pear,
Yes, and pomegranate
Oh,
juice,
yum.
and it all comes together. It is delightful, and
Yeah.
that is one everybody picks up the glass. I like to watch when it's taken to the table because everybody picks up the glass, and after their first sip, their eyes just open really wide, and then I'm satisfied. I'm
Wow.
okay. They like it.
They
All right.
like it. Nice.
That's funny.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, again, if you have not tried Masa ramen and sushi, like you're missing out. It is so, so wonderful. So many amazing things on their menu. So
Yeah. And I don't think we mentioned where it was located. We said across from Szechuan Bistro, but if you guys don't know where that is on Memorial and Western. Yeah. So like you were saying, no real, craft there. Now there's like Chisholm Creek area that's like catty corner across the other side of the turnpike. But that's a whole other scene. Right?
It is. And busy.
Yeah.
Really busy. I feel like this is kind of a little more quaint. You're not dealing with the crazy parking in Chisholm Creek.
I've heard a lot of Edmondites, you don't want to go south of Memorial. So this is conveniently on the north side of Memorial.
Yep. That's funny.
That area is actually, you don't think of it as being busy. It's crazy busy, that intersection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so think about where you're heading in from and where you're leaving to when you're trying to enter and exit, and it will make it much easier. Think about not having to cross lanes to turn into the parking lot,
Right.
and things like that. But
No,
you can get in and
It
out
is
of
a
there.
busy area. I mean, I said quaint. I was more thinking of like every time I go to Chisholm Creek, like searching for parking.
Oh, yeah.
But Memorial's busy, Western's busy, like that
busy,
whole
but
area.
Quaint works because
Okay.
we're still just right off of all the housing that's north of that area, and that's right now we have many regulars that come in and say, we love that you guys are right here. You're
So
2 minutes from
convenient.
our house.
Yeah.
And that's so it's been wonderful. We love to have more guests come in and more people come from other places. Honestly, we were actually super excited that because Costco brings a lot of people up north that are down south. And so we have a lot of people that come in and say, oh, we were over at Costco, so this is where we go when we come up this way.
Nice.
We've actually got some regulars that come from Stillwater to go to Costco, and they stop in and
That's
they
cool.
eat every time they're in town.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That is cool. All right. Well, are you ready to do the kitchen sink?
Always.
All right.
The question is Dawn ready?
Are you ready for the kitchen sink?
I guess so. We can.
All right. Do you enjoy cooking?
Actually, I love to cook.
Yeah.
I don't get to between being at work all the time and my other half saying, no, I'm cooking. So.
All right. So let's say when you do cook, what is your favorite ingredient to use?
Oh, honestly,
Or your favorite thing to cook?
it's still cooking, but it's its own category. I love to bake.
Okay.
I love baking, and anything I can do with chocolate.
Nice.
Anything I can do with chocolate.
Okay.
So.
Perfect.
Well, then you should check out the chocolate decadence.
Yes.
Oh,
what's
yes,
happening?
right.
Valentine's
It's
and
happening,
Norman.
So, next question. What is the strangest thing that you've tried?
Strangest thing I've tried. I would have to say was jellyfish.
Oh.
Okay.
And I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan.
I've not tried jellyfish.
Details, where was it? How was it prepared? What happened?
Actually, some friends here in town, eating with family, friends in their home. I don't remember if it was for a special event or anything, but jellyfish is not uncommon to be found on a Chinese table.
Mm-hmm.
And while others love it, it's not for me. And I'm a big texture eater, and it was about the texture.
Yeah.
It was just It was just something about biting into it, and when you first go for the bite, you get a little bit of a softness, and then all of a sudden this,
Ooh.
and it's just I'm a huge texture eater, and that was just like, okay, I'm done.
All right, let's change gears to something you like. What's your favorite snack food?
Everything. Honestly, it's not uncommon for me to head home and just sit down with a bag of tortilla chips and grab some salsa.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice. What is your favorite food show or movie?
I would have to say, and I always get the name wrong, The 1,000-Foot Journey, I believe is the name.
I have not heard
It is Helen Mirren and what is the name of the Indian actor? I forget his name. They're in France, and she has a 3-star restaurant, and his family has left persecution, and they were trying to find a place to live and set up a restaurant. And his mother taught him how to cook, and they found this French villa right across the street from, or road, I guess. It wasn't really a street, right across the road from this 3-star French restaurant. He becomes the chef for his restaurant, and then it's about kind of the battle between each other and everything.
As you were describing it, and I kind of looked it up as well, I remember seeing commercials for this, and I wanted to watch it. I just never got around to it. And now I really want to watch it again. But it was the 100-Foot Journey.
100-Foot Journey. Yeah. Thank you. It is a must, honestly. I've told so many of my friends to watch it, and they come back to me, that was a really, really good movie. I love anything Helen Mirren is in anyway.
Yeah. So. I love a good movie recommendation. Cool.
Yeah, thanks. Especially like quirky little stories like that. I like that.
Yeah, me too. All right, next question. What country or region do you think has the most intriguing food scene or culture?
This one's actually pretty easy for me to answer. Honestly, Southeast Asia, like Malaysia. My other half is from Malaysia.
Okay.
And anytime we travel, like I've said, I'm a very, very picky eater, and I'm actually supposed to be eating gluten-free as well. But anytime we go there, I say, okay, I'm just going to eat.
Yeah.
And
that's how I live my life.
No questions asked.
And I just deal with it. Sometimes there's things that I end up with. I'm like, oh, nope, don't give that to me again. But most of the time it's absolutely amazing. And the one thing there is it's their mamak, and it's their street food. Like Kuala Lumpur, there's multiple areas in the city where it's all storefront during the day, and about 4:00 in the afternoon, thousands of chairs and tables come out, go in the middle of the street, and the vendor carts, and they're not really like vendor carts like we think of, because honestly, most of the restaurants there, except for your really high dollar storefronts, but on the outskirts, the smaller mom and pop places, they do all of their cooking on carts outside of the restaurant, because for multiple reasons. Maybe they don't have air conditioning in the building, so they do that so they're not heating the building and everything, so it's more comfortable so you can eat inside. But all the carts come out, and I tell you, my father-in-law, he was going down the street, and he'd stop at a vendor, and I'd see him just point and point and point, hand him some money, and walk off. And mind you, there's 1,000 people out here on the street.
Right.
And he's like, okay, we found a table over here. Somehow, the vendors find you, and they bring you your food.
Wow.
And it's all amazing. So
that's awesome.
I love so cool.
I love street food, and I think Asia and Central Asia, like their street food scene is unparalleled.
Yeah.
I agree.
You can't beat that.
I want to experience that. That would be incredible.
You should. Malaysia and Thailand are the places to
Yeah.
go. Your exchange rate works for you, and it's so good.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does. Cool.
All right, final question, and then you're off the hook. What is your favorite restaurant in Oklahoma City?
You know,
it can't be Masa,
right?
or Szechuan Bistro.
That is a tough one, because honestly, there are so many amazing restaurants in this city. Thank you, Kerr Flash Fresher, for making it such a hard thing to do to figure out where you want to go, because everything's so good. So many people are trained by Kerr, or he has so many restaurants. Honestly, one of our go-tos when we have friends, when we want to go have a really nice meal, we'll go to the Metro.
Yeah. Nice.
That is one of them. I am a huge breakfast person, so I'm still seeking out other styles, but hands down my favorite breakfast place in town is Cafe Cacao.
Oh, yes. That's
hands down.
Delicious.
Yeah, I love Cafe Cacao. I would say that was one of my top places
Have
as well.
you eaten at Antigua?
I've actually eaten at Antigua, and they are family.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it really nice. Their
But
menus
they're so different still.
Their menus are similar yet quite different.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about it. And I actually would say that I would hold them both in almost the same place. I just frequent Cafe Cacao more.
Okay. So, yeah.
I still haven't been to Cafe Antigua, but
Gotta do it.
well,
I think they're closed on Sundays or something
Yeah,
like that, which is why it was a little difficult for us to get there at some point.
that's been my issue. The last time I was like, I'm finally going to make it there, it was a Sunday, and I was thinking brunch and couldn't do it.
No Antigua for you?
No, but Cafe Cacao, always a top choice for me as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We have lots of guests staying in our home all the time. We actually have some Airbnb properties, and I always
nice.
tell my guests, when you come to Oklahoma City, if you eat in a chain restaurant, shame on you.
Yes.
You should never do that.
1000%.
That's the wrong thing to do. Only if it's a necessity should you. But go venture out in the city, and Cafe Cacao tends to be the top of the list, the first thing I suggest. So,
Yeah.
And now you have to tell them to listen to the food
That's
cast.
exactly what I was
There
going
you
to say.
So they
Recommend
know.
this podcast because we give local recommendations all the time, every week. Cool. Well,
They just have to listen to the start, the eat of the week, and they're like, all right.
yeah.
right.
Well, the eat of the week, and then whoever our guest is, their favorite spot
Right.
and
Right.
why. Yeah.
The first
The
10
first
minutes and
and
the
the last
last
10 minutes. But the middle stuff is so good
Yeah.
too.
But for people traveling that want quick recommendations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Don, for being our guest today. We have really enjoyed speaking with you. And you can follow Masa Ramen and Sushi on Instagram and Facebook at Masa Ramen Sushi OKC.
There you go. Yes.
Let's
And
say that again. Masa Ramen Sushi OKC.
Yep.
yes, and we're about 6 followers away from 1,000 followers already.
Nice.
I'm so
Ooh.
happy with that.
Yeah.
So many of the influencers, in town have gotten behind us and said, "Hey, this is a must." So
Yeah.
we've had so many followers. I'm so grateful for that, because do follow us there, because that is the best way to know when we have specials. It's the best way to know we have things going on.
I bet I can almost guarantee we will get you to 1,000 after we release this episode. I mean, you're right there.
We're right on that doorstep.
Yeah.
And if we have a second, if you don't mind, I know you said one of the things you talked about was our crazy grand opening. We're about to do something really crazy for Valentine's as well.
Ooh, what are you
okay.
doing?
Yeah. So for Valentine's, we are taking in an idea one of the investors has had, and he's done it in his restaurant, Szechuan Bistro. But when you come in and eat, if you spend $300 for dinner that night, which isn't normal. Don't worry, you're not going to come spend
Right.
$300 at Masa unless you're super hungry and ordering everything. But if you order $300, we hand you a gift certificate for $300 to come back.
Oh, wow.
So the amount that you spend, we give back to you to come back and use.
Oh, wow.
Now, there are some stipulations to it. It's not going to be that gift certificate can be used at multiple times. It's a use it or lose it. So that means you're coming back, but that's okay. Bring your friends. That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping is that you bring friends in to eat, drive that bill up, get that gift certificate back, and then bring more friends in to eat.
Nice.
When you come in to use it.
Yeah,
So.
I
Nice.
think that sounds awesome.
So that is that limit, $300 or up?
No, there's actually
there's
no
no
limit.
limit? Okay.
There's actually not a limit. It's a one-time
so
one-time
it could be
use.
$50.
It could be $50. You could spend $20. We'll give you $20.
That's cool.
A
That's
$20
super
gift
I
certificate.
love that. I thought it
And-
was $300.
No,
but
it doesn't
Hey,
have
I
to.
would-
It's not a
Okay.
I
set
would go in
amount.
and be like, all right, give me all your rolls.
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing.
I've called my friends.
Valentine's is about sharing love, okay? We love our customers. We want to do something and to show that.
yeah.
And this is a way for us to do that. And then individuals that do come in and use it and take advantage of it can share the love with their friends
Yeah.
when they bring them
Yeah.
back.
I
So
love that
That's
idea so
awesome.
much.
That's
so
a
this is
fantastic
just
idea.
going to be February 14th.
February 14th.
Whatever
Yes.
you spend, you will get a gift certificate of that amount for you to come back.
Yes.
And you have
Again,
to use that gift certificate in one visit.
one visit.
Visit.
And it will be, the gift certificate will be only for food. If you do have alcohol purchases that day, when you come to use it, you will have to pay separately for the alcohol.
Okay.
If there's money left over, it can't be used towards the alcohol.
Right.
But that's just to cover bases with
Yeah.
the state and everything
Right.
else.
Right.
So
With Oklahoma liquor laws,
Exactly.
like you definitely have to be careful with that.
exactly.
Well, that sounds awesome. So there's another Valentine recommendation for
Yeah.
you.
Hot off the press.
Yeah.
There you go. So check out our social media, and it will be there. The information about it. One thing that I will say is we won't be taking reservations.
You will not be.
We will not
Ooh,
be
there's going to be a
Okay.
line
For-
out the door again.
for that reason.
yeah.
Because it's going to limit. So make plans to be there early, and we promise we like to take care of people. So service is fast. We're not going to pick you up and shove you out the door so we can seat somebody else down.
Yeah.
But we will get you in and out. We will get everybody taken care of. It's just like I said, it's just a good way. We know people are plan to spend money on Valentine's Day. Make it work for you.
Yeah.
Come
for
to Masa.
sure.
There you go.
For sure.
Fantastic.
That sounds really, really cool. Well, again, be sure to follow Masa Ramen Sushi OKC on social media. And while you're there, make sure you're following us at OKC Foodcast on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to send in some listener feedback or if you'd like to collaborate with us, we'd love to hear from you. And you can email us at okcfoodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't done so yet, wherever you're listening to this podcast, hit that subscribe button and leave us a rating. And if you're feeling extra generous, write us a review. We would so appreciate it. Also, share this podcast with a friend.
For
Spread the
sure.
food love.
Yep. And until next time, friends, eat well and be happy.